I don't know why I'm doing this right now, but you're seeing me in my truest form. This is me actually editing a video that is low-key due tomorrow. What's up, everyone? It's Steven from Steven Makes Videos, and if you're new here, hi, I make videos about cinematography and tech, and I'm being really quiet. I'm trying to be really quiet because it's late at night right now. I'm editing a video that is low-key due early in the morning tomorrow. And right now, the main thing I'm working on is I'm making a really long talking head sequence, short and entertaining. And I'm going to show you how to kind of chop that up. So let's get into it. So right now we're looking at a video that is due tomorrow, which by the time this goes up was last week's video, maybe. It's the one where I got a tiny side microphone for my camera and tried it out. So we're gonna work on what I call trimming the fat. I didn't come up with that. It's like everyone just calls it trimming the fat. I think this was originally a 9-minute video, just this segment alone, that I've condensed into 4:45 to 6:15. That's like a minute and a half. There's a lot of fat to trim. And what makes these scenes boring is they are just the same. There's no change. It's only jump cuts, and literally all the cuts I make are to string sentences together. And no matter how well it flows, it never feels quite right. Like, this gets to me like every week. It's like, is this too boring? And oftentimes the first thing I have to do is remind myself that I'm my own harshest critic, and that if I think it's bad, it might be, but probably not as bad as I think it actually is. Maybe we won't be able to trim any more fat out of this segment already, but we can do some other things. We can add B-roll every once in a while. We can do punch-ins, zoom-ins, graphics, just stuff to kind of spice it up. And then sometimes there is this really big problem that you just like maybe film a whole video just like how I'm filming this, and there's nothing to break it up. No transitions, no music, no opportunities for music to transition into, like, from the beginning to the middle of the story or the middle of the end to the story of the video. So I don't think that's a problem in this video. I think we have 3 fairly well-defined acts. We have a beginning, middle, and end. That's set. It's just within each of those, it's kind of boring. So let's jump right in. I'm gonna see what I can do here. I always want to start a little bit further back so I can get some context. But it is a little bit better than the in-body mic, so I do think it has a use. I think this mic would be a really good emergency microphone. Maybe a little bit of music there would help. This is really small. See, in this segment I'm describing, like, this is really small. On that this, maybe it would be appropriate to punch in. The camera, well, this is really small. Like, you don't need a whole lot of space to put this in a bag or a suitcase or anything. Yeah, see, even that clip alone gets kind of dry. Oh, like, you don't, and then maybe I'll cut back to what I had before, and I'll just copy settings from this clip, paste to that one, easy. And now we can watch that. This is really small. Like, you don't need a whole lot of space to put this in a bag or a suitcase or anything. The video doesn't feel lazy when I did that, so that's good. Like, yeah, we're already kind of making progress. If we started here, we are here now. And if you're writing the video and you're doing everything for it, you had a thought in your head, you wrote it down, and then you shot it, then you'll kind of know the cadence that you want. You'll know the vibe that you want in the video. And really, that should make this whole process a piece of cake, knowing when to punch in and do all that stuff. Big Rode microphone. I feel like here I should have B-roll. Here, where I start talking about the Sony RX100 Mark VII, I think I want some B-roll of me going to Sony's website, like just looking at the page for that camera and like scrolling up and down. And one thing I like to do, when there's B-roll over something, I can do a lot more jump cuts into audio. I don't like to do jump cuts too much, but if it's covered by something, you can splice together sentences and the viewer technically won't be able to notice. For example, this RX100 Mark VII. Like, that's a bit long. That sounds natural in conversation, but in the video world, that is super long. So when there's B-roll over it, the RX100 Mark VII. Is that what we're on now? Oh, yeah, that kind of feels like a YouTube video, right? That feels fast-paced enough, consistent with the rest of the video. I could punch in because this is like the end of an important sentence. Oh, and keep in mind, I'm gonna put music over all of this. So that'll help everything. That'll give the video a definitive vibe, I think. I think it's a good backup. I don't know. I'm okay with that pause because it fits with the sentence. Like, if I wanted to zoom in. Good backup. No, we should zoom in insanely far. I think it's a good backup. I don't know. I'll leave a link to this mic. Cool. I spent just a minute looking for this. That'd be a good chance to punch in, even though the video is done. Like almost done. Keep in mind the viewer doesn't technically know that, even though they can see the red bar in YouTube. Like they want to be entertained to the very end, right? And you want that audience retention to go as far as you can. Just keep that in mind when you think you can give up when you get towards the end of your video. You can. Check out my podcast. New episode comes out next Tuesday. And I'll see you next week. Bye. Then I'll go into my end plate, and that'll be the end of the video. I'll put music in it. You'll see. I think everyone knows music. Like that's a pretty common tip. Another thing to note, you may have noticed while I was doing this is a very rough edit of this scene. I'm gonna tighten it up, fix the gaps that were there and stuff. It didn't feel quite right, so that'll definitely get fixed before it's published. So yeah, give these a shot. In your next edit that you feel is really boring, just try doing some of the stuff. Put graphics, punch in, you know, spice it up. And as for trimming the fat, it's very hard to figure out what information is essential or not. You want to have an end product that, you know, cuts out some of the details. I did cut out a lot of stuff here about like the shock mount on the microphone and the windscreen. It's like that's good to know, but it's not as important as the main points I'm trying to hit, which are basically that this mic isn't that good, but it's better than the in-body mic on the camera. So just think, as long as your scene carries that, your main message across, you're good. You may think there's some like great information you're missing out on, if that's how you really feel, but it wasn't as important as the stuff that your video you were shooting is focused on. Like if you go on a tangent or something, great, make another video about it. I'm tired. I'm gonna edit this and then I'm gonna go to bed and schedule this upload. Not in that order, but so if you stuck around to the end of this, thanks, you're awesome. See you next week. Bye.